Hey guys, Engineer Wannabe here. Today we're going to be reviewing another watch from my collection. This is the Oris Pro Pilot Big Date. Oris Big Crown Pro Pilot Big Date. It's a mouthful. And if you thought that was bad, let me read out the the reference number. It is the 017517697406507822019. Eesh. Yeah, that's pretty bad. But anyway, there's quite a bit to talk about here, so let's flip the camera and go ahead and do that. Okay, so as per usual, let's rattle through the dimensions of this case really quickly. We have a 41 millimeter diameter case, which is approximately 12 millimeters thick. Its lug to lug is 49 millimeters. Its lug width is 20 millimeters. Now, the bracelet actually does not go straight down, even though it looks like a U-shaped end link. The middle link of that end link does not articulate too well. So if you take that end link into consideration, you're actually going to be around 52 millimeters lug to lug. So it's a big watch, and it might seem a bit too big, and that was why I kind of ignored this for so long. But once you get it on wrist, it actually does not feel that way. And funnily enough, the bracelet makes the watch wear a bit better on my 6 1/4 inch wrist. Now, I have to admit it's too big for my 6 1/4 inch wrist, but I was looking for a pilot's watch like this, and I was happy to have found it. When I tried it and found that it was okay and it was comfortable for me to wear, I kind of hopped on it. But yeah, so those are the dimensions. Let me give you the weight of this watch. It's unsized, 150 grams, so it's a good weight. And when it's sized down to my 6 1/4 inch wrist, 16 centimeters, it becomes 133 grams. So a really nice weight. It's not too heavy, not too light, and I think in general it's just right. So let's move on to taking a look at this case. So this case doesn't have very many sharp edges, and it doesn't have very many polished sections either. Really almost nothing at all if you just consider the case. So you have horizontal brushing on the sides of the case, and a vertical brushing on the top. So it all kind of meshes really well together, and I like the fact that the edge on this is a little soft. The edge of the lugs, you'll see that it's not razor sharp, it's a little soft, and I don't mind that. I think in the long run that's going to be a good thing, because if it was razor sharp, kind of like a Zenith maybe, or some of the new Seiko divers, I feel those are going to get dinged up really easily, and 10-20 years down the line it's not going to look as good. While this it will not show that damage as readily. So I think this is a good long-term solution to have kind of softened edges. But you may not like that. It would have been nice to see a bevel of some sort, a polished bevel down the edge, but this is a tool watch, it's a pilot's watch, and it's unnecessary, so that's a good thing. But if you take a look at the bezel, which is countersunk into the case, it's a very nice look. You'll see that the bezel edge, the side of the bezel, is of a very nice high polish, so it gives a really nice accenting sheen to the watch. And of course, I'd be foolish to not mention how beautiful that not brushing, but the knurling, the turbine-like edging on that bezel. It's really nice. Very, very beautiful. Gives it adds to that pilot aesthetic of the watch. And so does the crown. The crown is signed, and it has a very, very sharp knurling. So very easy to operate. It almost is too sharp, because you will feel it on your wrist if you wear this loose. You will feel that scratching the back of your palm. So be aware of that. Let's move on to the bracelet. The bracelet is a 3-link bracelet, kind of a dive watch look. Has a dive watch kind of look to it, but when you get to the clasp, you can see that there's no dive extension or anything like that. It has a single push or a side pusher, single push button deployant, and you've got 3 micro adjust positions. on the clasp. The bracelet itself is very well done. The clasp is really well done too. All of it is milled, including the swing arm as well as the clasp body itself. It's all well machined, and so there's no corners cut there. So on the wrist, the bracelet is very comfortable and very good for everyday use. The links, so the bracelet itself is sized with pins and collars, and you've got a really giant collar in the middle of the link, and that means that it's very secure. It's so secure that it's quite hard to knock or to punch out that pin. Let's move on to the dial. The dial is absolutely ravishing. It's really nice. It's got this indigo hue to it, so it's a blue dial with an indigo like hue to it. I think it's really nice. And you have lume on all the numerals. So you've got printed numerals. It's a printed dial entirely. You've got printed pips, lume on all the numerals, and a stunning set of hands. I really love these hands. They're high polished hands with a generous coating of lume. The second's hand is really nice as well. The end of the second's hand is painted with a white tip. So all that makes this very legible. It's very unique. I really love these hands. They're also on the Aquas, and I really enjoy these hands. There is a dial where they have applied numerals, so loomed and applied numerals. I think that one's the best of the bunch. So if you can get your hands on that, I think it's maybe $150 more. I think it's well worth the additional money. But this is no slouch. It's a very nice dial. The movement is another interesting thing here. As you can see on the dial, kind of ties closely to the dial. The dial has a date, a bigger date, and the date is right at the edge of the dial. And this is how it should be done. This I don't understand why more manufacturers don't take the time to make this modification, but they put the date right at the edge of the dial, and it looks great. Not even IWC does this, so I am very impressed. Now, as for accuracy, I've had a good experience with this. It's running right now at a -2 seconds per day, and I am really happy with that. So I've had some bad experiences with Oris's SW200 based movements. I've had a few that were plus 15, and you know, in general, they're better than that, but I've had a few that were on the extremes, and because of that, I was a little nervous. I am always kind of a little nervous when companies don't regulate their movements too much, or they don't commit to a regulation. But this one being -2, I'm really happy with that. So on the wrist, I mentioned that the bracelet makes this watch wear a little bit better than the specs would suggest, and that's true. But it is really nice on a strap as well. If you do put it on a strap, I think it accentuates how big the watch is, which is interesting that it does that. But it is a looker on straps. I really enjoyed on brown straps particularly. Well, guys, that's about it. What do you think of the Oris ProPilot Big Date, Oris Big Crown ProPilot Big Date? What do you think of it? Let me know. I think it's a great piece. I think you should take a look at this. Try it out in a store. Even if you have a smaller wrist. My wrist is 6¼ inches. I think a 6.5-inch wrist should be able to easily enjoy this. But if you're okay with it, like I am, if you have a 6¼ inch wrist, you should give it a shot as well. But yeah, let me know what you think. Let me know how horrible it looks on my wrist. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Take care, stay safe out there, and I will see you in the next video. Oh, remember, time is short. Time is short, and you are special. You're worth it. And yeah, I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.